Purpose gives you the strength to push through when the world tells you to stop. Purpose is the compass that leads you through the storm and shows you the way to your greatness. Live with purpose, and the world will open doors you never imagined possible. Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions, unsure of what truly drives you? What if I told you that finding your purpose could change everything? In this video, I'll show you how discovering your true purpose and showing up with intention every day can transform your life. This isn't about empty motivation. It's about real, practical steps you can take to build a life full of meaning and direction. Are you ready to live with purpose and take control of your destiny? Let's dive into how you can unlock the power of purpose today. Number 1, discover what truly drives you every single day. You wake up every morning with a choice. You can go through the motions, follow the routine, and tick boxes you didn't even create. Or you can ask yourself one honest question. Asterisk, why am I doing any of this? Asterisk. See, most people never stop to ask that. They run fast but have no idea where they're going. They do things because someone told them it's the right thing to do. They chase goals that never came from within. And at the end of the day, they feel exhausted but not fulfilled. To live with purpose, you've got to do more than just survive. You've got to know what you're working toward. You've got to understand what matters to you on a level that's deeper than success, money, or approval. This isn't about having a 5-year plan or creating a checklist of dreams. It's about connecting with something that gives meaning to your time and energy. It's about discovering the fire behind your actions. Start by taking a real look at your life. Strip away the roles you play and the masks you wear. Forget about what others expect for a moment. Ask yourself, asterisk, what do I care about deeply? Asterisk, what do I value when no one is watching? Asterisk, what do I want my life to stand for? This is where most people avoid the truth. Because once you know what really drives you, you can't ignore it anymore. You can't go back to pretending your job fulfills you when it doesn't. You can't keep wasting time on things that don't reflect who you are. Finding what drives you means looking at your own life with sharp honesty. What gives you energy? What fills your lungs with air and your chest with certainty? What have you done in the past that made you forget about time because it just felt right? Your answer won't come from a book or a lecture. It will come from your own experiences, your own pain, your own passion. Sometimes it shows up in the moments that broke you. Sometimes it reveals itself when you felt alive for the first time in years. And when you discover it, you'll feel it in your body. A deep clarity, a quiet knowing. You won't need to explain it to anyone. You'll just know that this right here is what matters to you. This is why you're here. Now, once you discover it, you've got to live it. And that's where it gets real. You've got to stop giving your time to things that pull you away from what matters. You've got to stop saying yes to things that don't feel true to you. Living with purpose is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about waking up every day and saying, I know what I want this life to mean. And then acting like you mean it. Some days will be harder than others. You'll have doubts. You'll face pressure to go back to comfort. People might not understand your choices. That's okay. This isn't about them. This is about you being honest about what gives your life meaning. Every action you take either moves you closer to that or pulls you away from it. Every decision either builds the life you want or distracts you from it. There is no middle ground. You have to make space for what matters. You can't do that if your life is full of distractions. You can't stay connected to what drives you if you're always chasing temporary pleasure or approval. Purpose requires discipline. It requires presence. It requires courage. If you don't build your life around what drives you, your life will be built around what distracts you. And distraction is the enemy of growth. It keeps you busy but disconnected. It keeps you entertained but empty. When you know what drives you, your priorities shift. You stop trying to do everything. You stop trying to please everyone. You become more focused, more confident, more grounded. You begin to act with purpose, not pressure. Your days start to have more weight. You start measuring your time differently. You begin asking better questions. Asterisk, does this decision reflect my values? Does this path bring me closer to the life I want? Asterisk. And when you get clear on that, you also become more resilient. Life will still hit you. You'll still fail. You'll still get tired. But now you're not just pushing through life. You're moving through it with direction. You're not just reacting anymore. You're choosing. You're building. You're shaping a life that feels like yours. When you live disconnected from your driving force, your emotions start to reflect that. You might feel unmotivated, lost, anxious, numb. That's your mind and body telling you you're off course. Don't ignore that. Use it. Let it guide you back to what matters. What drives you is not just a passion or a hobby. It's a standard for how you live. It's a deep inner compass that keeps you aligned even when the outside world feels chaotic. But here's the key. You have to protect it. Purpose fades when you don't pay attention to it. It gets buried under excuses and obligations. That's why you've got to come back to it. Daily, you've got to wake up and reconnect. You've got to ask yourself what matters most today. What's one thing I can do that reflects who I want to be? And then do that with clarity, with effort, with pride. Because every small action you take with purpose strengthens your life. Every moment you live on your terms adds value to your story. And when you string enough of those moments together, you build a life that means something. Not just a life that looks good. A life that feels right. A life where your choices reflect your truth. A life where you don't have to hide. A life that you're proud to call your own. And that's what you're here for. Not to coast. Not to follow. Not to just exist. You're here to know yourself. To stand for something. To create meaning with your time. And that starts by discovering what truly drives you every single day. Number 2, break free from distractions and focus on your why. You live in a world that is always pulling at your attention. Notifications, emails, messages, noise. Everywhere you go, something wants a piece of your focus. And it's easy to give in. It's easy to check your phone again. It's easy to scroll for just a few more minutes. It's easy to let time slip away. But here's the truth. Every time you give in to those distractions, you move further away from your reason, your why. You lose connection with what really matters to you. You drift away from your goals, not because you're lazy or undisciplined, but because your attention has been stolen. And the more it happens, the more you start to feel off. You feel unmotivated. You feel behind. You start to question yourself. But the real problem isn't you. The real problem is your focus is being controlled by everything around you instead of by what's inside you. If you don't protect your focus, someone else will use it for their own agenda. That's not dramatic. That's just reality. Every time you choose distraction over purpose, you trade your future for a moment of escape. You trade clarity for noise. And here's the cost. Your goals stay the same, but your progress slows down. Your vision stays clear, but your actions get scattered. You want more, but you feel stuck. That's the pain of living disconnected from your why. So what do? You stop. You take back control. You don't wait for the world to become quieter. You become stronger in how you respond to it. You build focus like a skill. You don't expect it to be perfect. You expect it to take effort. And you put in that effort because your purpose deserves it. It starts with getting clear about what your why is. Why are you doing what you do? Why does it matter to you? Why do you care enough to keep going even when it's hard? That answer, your personal reason, is your anchor. When you feel tempted to give in to distractions, your why is what brings you back. When you feel tired, your why is what gives you energy. When you feel uncertain, your why is what gives you direction. Without it, everything feels scattered. With it, everything becomes sharper. Your why doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be real. Maybe you want to give your kids a better life. Maybe you want to live with peace of mind. Maybe you want to do work that matters to you. Maybe you want to prove to yourself that you're capable of more. Whatever it is, you have to feel it. Not just think about it. You've got to build a relationship with it. And once you're clear, you act like it. That means turning off what doesn't serve your direction. That means spending more time in quiet. That means putting your phone down when it's time to focus. That means creating an environment where your priorities can breathe. It's not about removing every distraction. That's impossible. It's about becoming someone who doesn't chase them. It's about recognizing that every time you choose focus, you strengthen your purpose. Every time you stay with the task, you build trust with yourself. This kind of discipline builds confidence, and not fake confidence. Real confidence that comes from living in line with your goals. Confidence that says, I'm not here to waste time. I'm here to build something with meaning. People often ask how to stay motivated. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. But discipline is built through your decisions. It's built every time you say, I'm going to stay on track today, even if it's not easy. And over time, those choices change you. You don't need to do everything in one day. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be intentional. Give your time to what actually matters. Spend your energy on things that move you forward. Schedule your focus. Block out time for your goals. Make it clear to yourself that this matters more than noise. Distractions don't just steal your time. They drain your energy. They make you feel busy without making progress. And they keep you in the cycle of starting things without finishing them. That's where frustration builds, when your actions no longer reflect your intentions. So start being honest about what pulls you away from your why. Look at your daily habits. Look at what you're consuming. Look at how you spend your mornings and your evenings. Look at where your energy is going. That's where your life is headed. If it's not supporting your purpose, it's slowing it down. You can't afford to give your energy to things that don't build the life you want. Not if you're serious about growth. Not if you want to feel proud of how you lived. The truth is, it's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about living with a clear sense of direction. When you know your why, your time becomes sacred. Your focus becomes sharp, and your effort becomes powerful. Discipline doesn't make life harder. It makes it more meaningful. Because when you break free from distraction, you don't lose freedom. You gain it. You gain the freedom to choose what you build. You gain the freedom to shape your path. You gain the freedom to say, I'm not available for anything that pulls me away from what matters most. And that kind of clarity, that kind of commitment, that's what builds a life you can be proud of. A life where your actions match your purpose. A life where you don't just get through the day. You use the day to become more of who you're meant to be. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You need more clarity. And that only happens when you break free from the noise and return to your reason. Not once a year, but every single day. So ask yourself right now, what's pulling me away from my path? What habits need to go? What distractions am I allowing in? And most importantly, what do I need to change today to stay connected to my why? Your future depends on your answer. Your purpose depends on your consistency. And your progress depends on your ability to protect what matters. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start removing the noise now. Start building focus now. Start acting on your why now. Because once you break free from distraction, and once you lock in on your why, you become a force that can't be moved. You stop chasing everything. You start building something real, something that matters, something that lasts. Number 3. Wake up with clear goals that excite you. The moment you open your eyes in the morning is a chance to begin again with clarity, a chance to live today with direction. But most people don't take it. They hit snooze, they delay the day, they get up with no real reason behind it. They go into autopilot, and before they even step out the door, their day already belongs to everyone else. But when you start your day with clear goals that excite you, everything changes. You don't drag your feet, you don't waste time, you don't wait for life to happen, you take the lead. See, life doesn't give clarity to people who don't ask for it. You have to create it for yourself. That starts by knowing what you want. Not just someday, not just eventually, but today. When you know what matters to you in the next 24 hours, your energy becomes focused. Your actions become stronger. Your day becomes a tool, not a burden. And this isn't just about being productive. This is about waking up with meaning. It's about having a reason to move with purpose. When your goals excite you, your mornings feel different. You're not just getting through another day. You're building something that reflects you. That's where motivation lives. Not in height, but in direction. Start by deciding what kind of day you want to have. Not in vague ideas, but in real, clear terms. What will make today matter? What will move your life forward? What will bring you closer to the person you're becoming? That's how you set powerful goals. By making them personal. The key is clarity. If your goals are blurry, your actions will be weak. If you wake up without knowing what you're aiming for, you'll get distracted fast. So write it down. Be specific. Be honest. Set 1 or 2 clear intentions for the day. You don't need a long list. You just need real direction. Maybe it's a project you've been putting off. Maybe it's a decision you've avoided. Maybe it's a commitment to your health. Whatever it is, make sure it matters to you. Make sure it means something deeper than checking a box. That emotional connection is what fuels your follow-through. Now, goals alone don't create progress. Action does. But goals give your action structure. They give it reason. They give it weight. You stop reacting to life. You start shaping it. You become the one who decides what gets your time. And the best part? You start feeling proud of how you're living. Because every goal you hit, no matter how small, becomes proof that you're capable. It becomes a reminder that you're in charge of your path. And that builds momentum. But let's be clear, not every day will feel exciting. Some days you won't feel like doing the work. That's when discipline steps in. That's when your commitment to your goals matters most. If you only act when you feel like it, you'll stay stuck in cycles. But when you follow through even on the hard days, you grow stronger. That's why your goals must be meaningful to you. Not someone else's version of success. Not what looks good on paper, but goals that connect to your values, to your standards, to your future. That kind of alignment gives your goals life. And it makes your mornings powerful. Because now when you wake up, you're not lost in the noise. You're not overwhelmed. You're grounded. You have a reason to rise. A reason to move. A reason to bring your best to the day. Create a morning that supports that energy. Don't roll out of bed into chaos. Give yourself space to get clear. Even 5 minutes to review your intentions can change the tone of your day. Remind yourself why your goals matter. Visualize the kind of day you want to create. Then move with that in mind. Protect those first minutes. They set the tone. Don't give them to distractions. Don't give them to other people's priorities. Give them to your purpose. That's how you lead your day, instead of letting the day lead you. And remember, you don't need big goals to feel excited. You just need honest ones. Goals that reflect where you are and where you want to go. Maybe today your goal is to speak up when you usually stay silent. Maybe it's to take the first step on something you've been avoiding. Maybe it's to slow down and be present with the people you love. That matters. And when you hit those goals, recognize it. Don't rush past your progress. Feel it. Let it remind you that your effort is not wasted, that your intention is paying off, that you're not drifting anymore. You're building. You'll start to notice something powerful. Your confidence grows. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're living with purpose. Because you're making decisions that reflect your vision. And that creates momentum. It builds consistency. It turns your goals into a way of life. And this isn't just about mornings. It's about who you're becoming. When you build the habit of setting clear, exciting goals, you build the habit of leading your own life. You stop settling. You stop waiting. You start showing up. And that's the point. Not just to dream, but to act. Not just to hope, but to choose. Not just to wake up, but to rise with direction. This is what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. The ones who take time each day to ask what matters today. What am I working toward? What am I committed to? And then they act like it. They stay honest. They stay focused. They stay aligned. You don't need to figure out your whole future right now. You just need to know what will make today matter. That's how big change begins. One intentional day at a time. That's how purpose is built. One clear goal at a time. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't just get out of bed. Get up with clarity. Get up with direction. Get up with goals that excite you, and then live like they matter. Because they do. Because you do. Number 4. Take control of your life with strong intention. You're not here to just pass the time. You're not here to float through your days with no sense of direction. You are here to take ownership of your time, your energy, and your path. And that starts the moment you decide to live with strong intention. Living with intention means you stop reacting and start deciding. It means your life is no longer built on chance, but built on choice. The kind of choice that says, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, and this is where I'm going with it. No more sleepwalking through your routines. No more doing things just because that's how it's always been done. Intention cuts through the noise and gives you clarity. It doesn't happen by accident. Nobody stumbles into a meaningful life. You build it by being deliberate with every step. You wake up and decide how you want to live. You decide what deserves your time. You decide how you respond when things get hard. That kind of power doesn't come from outside you. It comes from taking yourself seriously. Without intention, days blur together. You wake up, go through the motions, check a few boxes, and start again. And before long, you look back and wonder where the time went. You wonder why you feel stuck, restless, frustrated. But when you live with intention, your days have structure, your choices have purpose, and you stop letting circumstances push you around. Strong intention starts with awareness. You have to wake up to your own life. You have to ask, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Is this aligned with who I want to be? Those questions are uncomfortable. They challenge your habits. They challenge your comfort zone. But that discomfort is where growth begins. Living with intention isn't about being busy. It's about being aligned. You can be working hard and still be going in the wrong direction. Effort only matters when it's pointed at the right target. And you don't find that target by accident. You decide it. You commit to it. You build your life around it. That means cutting out distractions. That means saying no to things that don't match your priorities. That means having the courage to walk your own path, even if it's different from what people expect. You can't live with strong intention if you're constantly chasing approval or avoiding discomfort. When you choose to lead your life instead of follow it, you take back your power. You stop blaming the world. You stop making excuses. You start saying, if this is going to change, it starts with me. That kind of mindset is rare, but it's what creates real results. You don't need to wait for a crisis to start taking your life seriously. You don't need to hit rock bottom to decide it's time to grow. You can make that choice today, right now. You can decide that your time is valuable. Your dreams matter. Your future is worth the effort. Taking control of your life with strong intention doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you act anyway. It means you stop waiting for perfect conditions. It means you move forward with clarity, even when things feel uncertain. Because the truth is, waiting doesn't build confidence. Action does. You build intention by showing up with purpose, not once in a while but every day. You don't just talk about what matters. You live it. You make decisions based on who you want to become, not who you've been. You pay attention to how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what you allow into your head. And it's not about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest with yourself. If something isn't working, fix it. If your habits aren't helping, change them. If your environment is dragging you down, upgrade it. You don't have to accept anything that holds you back from living fully. Strong intention gives you the strength to stay focused when distractions show up. It helps you keep going when motivation fades. It keeps your vision alive when the world tries to pull you in every direction. Because when you're clear on what you want and why it matters, the noise loses its power. Every part of your life gets better when you start living with strong intention. Your relationships improve because you stop wasting time on people who don't support your growth. Your work becomes more meaningful because you stop settling for what's easy and start striving for what matters. Your health improves because you start treating your body like it matters. And your confidence grows. Not because you're perfect, but because you're finally living in alignment. You're not just talking about purpose. You're living it. You're not just thinking about change. You're becoming it. That feeling of progress, of moving with intention, changes everything. You start trusting yourself more. You start respecting your own time and energy. And when life throws challenges your way, and it will, you handle them better. Because you're not drifting. You're anchored. You know who you are and what you're aiming for. If you want to live differently, you have to think differently. You have to stop treating your life like a random collection of days. This is your time. This is your shot. And you don't get it back. So make it count. Ask yourself, what does it look like to live with strong intention today? Not someday. Not next month. Today. What actions would reflect your highest values? What choices would move you forward? What would it look like if you stopped waiting and started deciding? You don't have to do it all at once. But you do have to start. Start by getting clear. Start by cutting out what doesn't serve you. Start by choosing how you want to live. Not once but every morning. You're not powerless. You're not stuck. You're not at the mercy of your past. You have everything you need to take control of your life. You just have to decide that you're ready. And once you do, once you start moving with strong intention, you'll feel it. You'll feel that shift inside. You'll feel the weight lift. You'll feel the pride build. Because now you're not just existing. You're leading. You're growing. You're living on purpose. That's how change happens. That's how transformation begins. One clear decision. One strong intention. One powerful step in the direction of the life you know you're meant to live. Number 5. Face your fears by committing to your purpose. Fear is a natural part of being human. It's something we all face at some point in our journey. But fear by itself doesn't control you. What gives fear power is the choice to avoid it. When you avoid it, you give it permission to grow. When you face it with purpose, you shrink it down to size. You see, your purpose is not just a nice idea. It's not just a feeling you chase. It's a commitment. It's a reason to keep showing up. And when that commitment is strong, fear can't stop you the same way it used to. That doesn't mean the fear goes away. It means it no longer makes the decisions. Most people wait for the fear to leave before they move forward. But that moment rarely comes. Waiting doesn't build courage. Action does. When you know what your life is about, when you're clear on what you're working toward, fear loses its grip. It might still whisper, but it won't drive. Your purpose is stronger than your fear. But you have to believe that before you feel it. That belief comes from action. Every time you do the thing you're afraid of, you take back your power. You prove to yourself that fear is not in charge. You are. Start by being honest about what you're afraid of. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't pretend it's not there. Whether it's fear of failure, rejection, judgment, or even success, name it. Call it out. Because what you don't face, you stay trapped by. But what you face, you grow through. Fear thrives in the unknown. But your purpose brings clarity. It shows you what matters. It reminds you why you started. And it keeps you grounded when your mind wants to run from discomfort. Purpose doesn't eliminate fear. It gives you something stronger to follow. When you commit to your purpose, you don't just dip your toe in. You dive in. You stop waiting for everything to be perfect. You stop living in maybe. You step into your life fully, knowing the risk is worth it. Because the price of not living your purpose is always higher than the fear of stepping into it. Fear will try to make you small. It'll tell you to wait. It'll tell you you're not ready. But your purpose will say, this matters. This is bigger than your fear. Keep going. And every time you listen to that voice, the voice of your future self, you grow. One of the fastest ways to weaken fear is to act while you're afraid. Not after the fear is gone, while it's still there. That action creates evidence. It shows your brain that fear doesn't have to win. That alone builds confidence more than any motivational talk ever could. And let's be clear, your purpose is not just for the good days. It's especially for the hard ones. The days you feel doubt, pressure, or pain. Those are the days your purpose matters most. Because without it, you'll quit. You'll retreat. You'll play it safe. But with it, you'll push through. You don't need to feel brave to act with courage. You just need to remember why you're doing what you're doing. When the reason is strong, the resistance feels smaller. You move forward not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Some people never get to experience what they're truly capable of, not because they weren't talented, but because they let fear win. They let fear decide what was possible. Don't let that be your story. You have too much inside you to stay on the sidelines. Your purpose is what reminds you that your life is not an accident, that you're here for more than comfort, that there's work in this world only you can do. When you connect with that truth, fear loses its control. It may stay in the background, but it no longer calls the shots. And you don't have to do it all at once. You just have to start. Start by taking one small step in the direction of your purpose, a conversation, a decision, a commitment, and then keep going. Keep stacking those moments, because with each step you change how you see yourself. You go from someone who avoids fear to someone who faces it. You go from hesitation to movement, from self-doubt to self-trust. That transformation isn't a single event. It's built daily, by people who choose purpose over comfort again and again. If you let it, fear will always find a reason to hold you back. It'll point to your past. It'll bring up every time you've failed. It'll remind you of what could go wrong. But your purpose will always point forward. It'll show you what could go right. It'll remind you of what's possible. When you feel fear rising, pause. Take a breath. Don't run from it. Don't judge it. Just ask yourself one simple question. What does my purpose need from me right now? And then do that. Do it scared if you have to. Do it imperfectly. But do it. That's how you rise. Because once you start living this way, where fear doesn't lead and purpose does, everything starts to shift. You begin to speak up when you used to stay quiet. You take the leap when you used to hesitate. You stand firm when you used to back down. Not because the fear is gone, but because it's no longer the one you answer to. And with each choice, you become someone you're proud of. Not because everything is easy, but because you're living true. You're making your days count. You're using your voice. You're building something real. You weren't born to hide. You weren't meant to play it safe. You were made to contribute, to grow, to build, and to lead. But none of that happens if fear sits in the driver's seat. That's why you must commit to your purpose. Not halfway, not sometimes, fully. Because when you do, you'll look back one day and be proud. Not just of what you achieved, but of how you showed up. You'll know that you didn't shrink from the challenge. You faced it. You chose courage. You lived with purpose. And that's what makes a life worth living. Not the absence of fear, but the refusal to let it stop you. Not the perfect plan, but the unshakable decision to keep moving forward. That's how you lead a life you respect. That's how you become unstoppable. That's how you live free. Number 6. Build habits that support your bigger vision daily. If you have a vision for your life, that means something to you. The most important thing you can do is build habits that match that vision. A vision without daily action is just a wish. You don't move toward your goals by dreaming big once in a while. You move when your daily behavior starts reflecting your deepest priorities. Every result you're getting right now is tied to your habits, your energy, your mindset, your progress. They're not just random, they're a direct reflection of what you do consistently. One choice at a time, and if you want to change your future, you've got to take responsibility for your routine. That starts by being honest. Are your habits helping you get closer to the person you want to be? Or are they keeping you stuck in the same patterns? When you stop looking away and face that question with honesty, things begin to shift. Small choices create big change, but not right away, and that's what throws most people off. They want fast results, but the people who win long-term are the ones who stay consistent, not the ones who get excited and burn out. Long-term success is not about what you do occasionally. It's about what you do every day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. If your bigger vision is to live with more freedom, start with discipline. If your vision is to impact others, begin by showing up for yourself. Whatever you're aiming for, reverse engineer it into simple habits that support that direction. Don't try to do everything at once. Start small but stay committed. Your future is built in the morning. What you do when you wake up matters. How you spend those first hours sets the tone for your entire day. If you're starting your day with distraction or delay, it's going to be hard to gain momentum. But if you start with focus and action, everything feels different. It's not about perfection. It's about intentionality. Too many people let their schedule run them. They wake up and immediately react to their phone, their inbox, their calendar. But when you build habits around your purpose, you're not reacting, you're leading. You're starting your day on your terms. It doesn't have to be complicated. A strong morning habit might be getting up at the same time, moving your body, feeding your mind with something positive, reviewing your goals, or setting one clear intention for the day. That may sound simple, but simple is what works when it's done consistently. The same goes for how you handle your time. If your bigger vision matters, you can't afford to waste your days. You've got to build habits around focus, time blocking, and saying no to things that don't move you forward. You've got to get good at protecting your energy from things that drain you. Discipline is not about being harsh with yourself. It's about showing respect for your potential. When you create habits that support your growth, you're telling yourself, my goals matter, my time matters, my life matters. That kind of respect builds confidence. And if you fall off track, because you will, the answer isn't to beat yourself up. The answer is to recommit, to learn from it, to bounce back stronger. What separates people who succeed from those who don't isn't that they never fail. It's that they don't let failure become a lifestyle. You need structure. You need systems. You need rhythm. Because motivation fades, but habits keep going. Think of habits as anchors. When life gets stressful, when your mind gets cloudy, you return to the habits you've built. That consistency brings clarity. It brings peace. It brings progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel ready. But you don't build habits based on how you feel. You build them based on your commitment. If your vision is strong, it deserves your follow-through. Not just on the easy days, but on the hard ones too. Look at the people you admire. The ones who are living on purpose, making an impact, leading themselves well. What you're seeing is the result of habits you don't see. They've trained themselves to show up no matter what. They've trained their mind to align with their values. That's not luck. That's intentional living. There's no shortcut, but there is a simple formula. Decide who you want to be. Identify the daily actions that reflect that identity, and then show up for those actions whether you feel like it or not. That's how you close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's not about doing what's exciting. It's about doing what's required, over and over again, because eventually what used to be hard becomes automatic. That's the power of habit. It turns effort into identity. You're no longer trying to be the kind of person who follows through. You are that person. And when that shift happens, everything changes. You don't have to rely on hype or willpower. You don't need someone to push you every day. You wake up and do the work because it's who you are. That kind of internal power is what builds a meaningful life. If your vision feels far away right now, don't panic. Don't get discouraged. Just zoom in. Focus on today. What are 3 small things you can do today that move you closer? Do them. Then do them again tomorrow. That's how dreams become reality. Not in a leap, but in steady steps. Your habits are either pulling you closer to your purpose or pulling you away from it. There is no neutral. Every decision has direction. That means every day is a chance to shift. Every morning is an opportunity to realign. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Start with the next one you have. If your life feels messy, simplify. If your days feel chaotic, organize. If your routine feels weak, strengthen it. Your vision deserves more than hope. It deserves a system that supports it, because vision without structure eventually fades. And this is where most people give up. In the boring middle, when the excitement wears off and the grind begins. But that's also where the breakthroughs are. The ones who keep going, keep building, keep showing up. They're the ones who rise. Not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. So take this seriously. Take yourself seriously. Build the habits that line up with your highest standard. Hold yourself to that. Not out of pressure, but out of purpose.
You've got one life. Don't spend it living out someone else's plan. Build the one that matches who you truly are. And remember, nothing changes until you do. So if you want a life that feels strong, meaningful, and aligned, start with what you do daily. Stack the habits that match your vision. Honor your time. Lead your day, and keep showing up. That's how you build something great, one strong choice at a time.
Number 7. Speak about what matters to you with courage. There comes a point in your life when staying quiet begins to cost you more than speaking up. What you believe, what you care about, what you see, it all matters. But it only begins to make a difference when you stop hiding it. If it matters to you, it's worth saying. And not just when it's easy, especially when it's uncomfortable. Speaking with courage doesn't mean you shout or try to impress anyone. It means you tell the truth, your truth, and you do it clearly, calmly, and directly. You do it not for approval, but because silence no longer serves you. You speak because your voice was meant to be used, not buried. Too many people walk through life biting their tongue, second-guessing themselves, shrinking when they should stand tall. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of conflict. They don't want to rock the boat, so they sit down and stay quiet. Even when something inside says, say it. But if you keep avoiding that voice, you slowly lose yourself. You become a watered-down version of who you were meant to be. And one day you look back and wonder what could have changed. In your life, in your work, in your relationships. If only you had spoken up. You're not here to stay silent. You're here to stand for something. And that starts with asking, what do I care about deeply? What am I willing to defend? What breaks my heart? What lights me up? What needs to be said that no one around me is saying? When you know the answer to those questions, you know what you must speak about. And once you're clear, speak with strength. That means you don't mumble through it. You don't apologize for having a voice. You don't ask for permission to say what matters. You speak like someone who believes their words count, because they do. Now understand this. Not everyone will like it. Some will misunderstand. Some will disagree. That's okay. Courage doesn't require agreement. It requires conviction. You don't need everyone to approve. You just need to be honest with yourself. That's where peace comes from. We live in a time where too many voices are loud but empty. People talk just to be heard. But what we need more of are voices that carry weight. Voices that speak with depth. Voices that come from a place of truth, not noise. You don't need to talk all the time. You need to speak when it counts. And when you do, be ready to hold the space. That means staying grounded even when the room gets quiet. Even when people don't react the way you hoped. Even when someone challenges you. If you believe in what you're saying, stay with it. Not with aggression, but with calm clarity. Speaking with courage doesn't always mean public speeches or big platforms. Sometimes it means saying what needs to be said in a private conversation. Telling someone how you really feel. Standing up for yourself in a meeting. Admitting when something isn't right. Sharing a truth that's been locked up inside for years. It's not about trying to win. It's about being real. Because the more you speak your truth, the more you find people who resonate with it. You attract the right kind of energy, the right kind of people, the right kind of opportunities. But it starts with having the nerve to go first. A lot of people wait. They wait for someone else to speak first. They wait until they feel perfectly ready. But waiting often turns into silence. And silence turns into regret. If it matters to you, say it now. Not perfectly, not loudly, just honestly. That's enough. And when fear shows up, and it will meet it with responsibility, ask yourself, what happens if I stay silent? What do I lose if I hold this in? Often the cost of not speaking is greater than the risk of being misunderstood. That awareness alone can shift everything. The most powerful voices in history were not the loudest. They were the clearest. They were the ones that spoke from values, not ego, from purpose, not performance. They were the ones who kept speaking even when their voice shook, even when they stood alone. And you have that in you, that strength, that fire, that knowing.
but it won't grow unless you use it. Just like a muscle, your courage gets stronger when you practice it. You start small, and over time your voice gains power. Sometimes, speaking up will change others. Sometimes it will only change you. Both are valuable, because when you hear yourself speak your truth, something inside clicks into place. You begin to trust yourself more. You stop needing so much outside approval. You start walking taller, and even if your voice isn't perfect, even if you fumble or get emotional, it's still powerful. People don't need you to sound flawless. They need to feel your honesty, your sincerity, your conviction. That's what moves hearts. That's what makes people pay attention. So speak even when you feel nervous. Speak even when it would be easier to nod and stay quiet. Speak when the room needs truth, not comfort. Speak when your purpose demands it. And know this, every time you do, you become more yourself. You cannot lead a meaningful life if your voice stays buried. Your purpose needs a voice. Your mission needs your mouth. Your beliefs need to be heard. Not someday, today, in your home, in your work, in your relationships, in your community. You don't need a microphone to make an impact. You need courage. You need intention. You need to believe that your perspective is worth sharing. Because it is. You've lived through things. You've learned through pain. You've seen what others haven't. That experience gives your words weight. Use that weight wisely. Speak with love, not anger. Speak with purpose, not pride. Speak with the kind of energy that wakes people up. And most of all, speak in a way that makes you respect yourself. Even if no one claps, even if no one agrees. Because the real reward of speaking up is not applause. It's alignment. It's knowing that you didn't hold back when it mattered. That you honored your voice. That you lived out loud, not in fear. That's the kind of life that changes things. Not just for you, but for everyone your words touch. So if you're waiting for a sign that it's time to speak, this is it. Your voice is needed. Your truth is needed. Your courage is needed. Don't silence yourself to make others comfortable. Don't bury what matters to you. Say it, share it, stand in it. And when you do, when you speak about what matters to you with courage, you won't just change conversations. You'll change your life. One bold word at a time.
Number 8. Make decisions that lead you toward your purpose. Your purpose doesn't show up by chance. It shows up when you decide to live in alignment with it. That means saying yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. That means taking full ownership of the direction you're going. It means not just reacting to life, but choosing the life you want to live. Most people don't lack purpose. They lack decision. They say they want clarity, but they avoid the choices that would create it. They wait for a perfect plan. They wait until it feels easy. But clarity comes from action, not delay. You want to know what your purpose is? Start making decisions that reflect your values, not your fears. It starts with getting honest. What do you really want? Not what looks good, not what other people expect. What matters to you deeply? What kind of person do you want to become? What kind of impact do you want to leave? If your decisions aren't aligned with those answers, you're living someone else's life. Strong decisions aren't always convenient. They won't always be popular, but they create power. They put you in control. And when you make a choice that honors your purpose, even if it's hard, you feel it. You feel that deep sense of peace that comes from knowing you're on the right path. But here's the challenge. Life is loud. Distractions are everywhere. People will pull you in every direction. That's why you need a solid filter. A way to measure every decision against your purpose. Ask yourself, does this move me forward or slow me down? Is this choice based on growth or on fear? Will this decision help me build the life I say I want? If the answer is no, don't make it. No matter how tempting it looks, no matter how easy it seems. You can't afford to keep choosing things that feel good in the moment, but cost you in the long run. That's how people waste years, chasing short-term comfort while neglecting long-term meaning. Purpose-driven decisions are not always flashy. Sometimes they look like staying in, staying focused, staying committed. Sometimes they mean walking away from a job, a relationship, or a lifestyle that no longer fits. Sometimes they feel like sacrifice. But what you're really doing is choosing alignment. And when you choose alignment, you gain momentum. You stop second guessing. You stop overthinking. You start moving with direction. Life starts to make more sense. Not because it's easier, but because it's yours. You're not following the crowd. You're following your compass. Don't wait for massive decisions to start living with intention. Purpose is built in the small choices. What you eat, what you read, who you spend time with, how you talk to yourself, how you use your time. Every one of those decisions is shaping who you're becoming. If you feel stuck, don't panic. Just zoom in. Ask yourself, what is one decision I can make today that supports the life I want to live? Then make it. Take action on it. Do it again tomorrow. And the day after that. That's how you get unstuck. Not by waiting, by choosing. Sometimes the hardest decision is to stop choosing things out of fear. Fear of missing out. Fear of judgment. Fear of failure. But when fear is the reason, the result is always regret. You don't build a meaningful life by playing it safe. You build it by choosing courage over comfort. You're not always going to get it right. Some decisions will teach you more than they reward you. That's part of it. But as long as you're choosing with awareness, you're still growing. You're still moving forward. The only real failure is refusing to decide. Indecision is a decision, and it costs more than people realize. It costs you energy. It costs you clarity. It costs you time. Every time you delay a decision that matters, you're giving up the power to lead your own life. You're letting life happen to you instead of for you. But when you decide, when you fully own your direction, you feel it. You walk different. You speak with more confidence. You lead with more certainty. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand. Because you're not trying to please. You're trying to live on purpose. If people disagree with your choices, that's fine. Let them. You don't need permission to live with intention. You don't need applause to stay true to your values. You don't need everyone to understand your purpose. You just need to be willing to follow it. And don't underestimate the power of daily decisions. Wake up earlier. Turn off distractions. Set goals. Say no. Say yes. Speak up. Stay focused. Rest when you need to. Push when it's time. These aren't just habits. They're expressions of your purpose. Every purposeful life is built on deliberate choices, not by luck, not by talent, but by showing up day after day and choosing what matters most. When it's hard, when it's boring, when no one's watching, when no one's cheering you on. That's where your power is. So if your life feels out of control, look at your decisions. Look at what you're choosing and what you're tolerating. Look at what you've been avoiding. Look at what you're prioritizing. Because your future is hidden in your choices. You don't need more time. You need more clarity. You don't need more chances. You need more courage. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a decision. One strong choice, then another, then another. That's how purpose becomes a lifestyle. You have what it takes. You know more than you think. You're not lost. You're learning. You're not behind. You're building. So stop waiting for someone to rescue your future. No one's coming. This is your life, your vision, your responsibility. Make the kind of decisions that make you proud. Make the kind of decisions that match your values. Make the kind of decisions that leave no room for regret. And when you do, you'll feel the shift. You'll feel the strength. You'll feel the direction you've been waiting for. Purpose doesn't arrive at your door one day. You shape it with every choice you make. And you already have what you need. Start choosing like it. Start living like it. Start deciding like it. Because your purpose is not somewhere out there. It's in the next decision you make. Right now.
Number 9. Create a plan that honors your inner calling. Creating a plan that honors your inner calling is one of the most powerful actions you can take in your life. It's about recognizing that you are not here by accident. You have a purpose, a mission, something inside of you that is uniquely yours to fulfill. The question is, are you aligning your daily actions with that calling? Are you making decisions that reflect the life you're meant to live? Or are you simply going through the motions? It's time to create a plan that doesn't just fill your day, but fills your soul. We often hear about the importance of setting goals, having a plan, and being disciplined. These are all important. But the most powerful plan is one that connects directly to your deeper purpose. If you aren't clear about your purpose, your goals and actions will just be noise. They'll keep you busy, but not fulfilled. The key is to understand that a true plan isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about doing it with intention, passion, and alignment with your inner self. Before you dive into creating your plan, take a moment to pause and reflect. What do you feel deeply connected to? What excites you when you think about your future? What are the things that make your heart race with excitement and meaning? These are the clues to your inner calling. These are the passions, interests, and dreams that are part of your purpose. Once you identify what those are, you can begin to build a plan that aligns with them. A plan that honors your inner calling begins with clarity. Without clarity, any plan will simply be a guess. It will lack direction and strength. But clarity doesn't come from reading a book or following someone else's formula. It comes from listening to yourself. It comes from knowing what feels right for you, not just what makes sense on paper. The most successful plans come from those who are deeply in tune with what they want, with what drives them, and with what they stand for. Take the time to reflect on what you truly want to achieve, and make sure it aligns with your calling. Don't let your plan be based on external expectations or social pressures. This is about you and what will make you feel fulfilled and proud. Once you have clarity, break down your vision into actionable steps. A grand purpose can seem overwhelming at first, and that's why it's crucial to break it down into small, achievable goals. If your purpose is to start a business, for example, your plan might include everything from researching the market, understanding your audience, finding investors, and building your product. But don't try to do everything at once. Start with one small, focused action. That could be as simple as researching your industry for an hour each day or writing down the core values you want your business to represent. Break it down into daily tasks that move you toward your bigger purpose. Each step you take is one step closer to living your calling. An important part of creating a plan that honors your calling is the willingness to commit. A plan won't work unless you are dedicated to it. You have to make the choice to commit to your purpose every single day, regardless of obstacles or setbacks. A plan is only as strong as your commitment to it. If you keep putting it off, if you keep changing course, you'll never see the results you're capable of achieving. Success is not about one-time efforts, it's about consistent actions. You must show up, day after day, with the commitment to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. At the same time, your plan should be flexible. Life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges and opportunities your way, and that's why your plan must evolve with you. It's important to have structure, but equally important to remain adaptable. If something isn't working, if you encounter an obstacle, don't give up. Use it as a learning experience, adjust your plan, reassess your actions, change your approach if necessary, but always stay true to your purpose. Flexibility in your plan allows you to navigate life's challenges without losing sight of your core values and mission. As you move forward with your plan, remember that it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. The process of working toward your purpose is where the growth happens. Along the way, you will learn more about yourself, about the world, and about what you are truly capable of. If you focus only on the end result, you will miss out on the lessons, the challenges, and the small victories that shape you. Celebrate each small win, each step forward, because they are the building blocks of your larger success. The more you commit to your plan, the more you grow into the person you need to be in order to achieve your purpose. One of the most important elements of creating a plan that honors your calling is understanding your why. Why do you want to do what you're doing? Why does your purpose matter to you? Your why is the driving force behind your actions. It gives you the fuel to push through tough times. When the going gets hard, your why will be what keeps you going. And when you are aligned with your inner calling, your why becomes clearer and more powerful. So take the time to reflect on your purpose and get clear on why it matters to you. Let that why fuel your actions. It's also essential to set boundaries as part of your plan. If you want to create a life that honors your calling, you must protect your time and energy. This means saying no to things that don't align with your purpose. You will be tempted by distractions, social obligations, other people's problems,
or things that seem like they should matter but really don't. To stay focused on your calling, you have to set clear boundaries and protect what matters most. Remember, every no you say to something that doesn't serve you is a yes to something that does. And finally, one of the most crucial aspects of creating a plan that honors your inner calling is persistence. There will be challenges, setbacks, and times when you want to quit. But it's those who push through, who keep going when things get hard, that ultimately fulfill their purpose. Your plan won't be perfect, and it won't always go as expected, but that doesn't mean you stop. When you hit a wall, find a way to climb over it. Keep moving forward, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's in these moments that you are building the character you need to fulfill your purpose. So create a plan that resonates with your soul, a plan that is true to who you are. Break it down into small, manageable steps. Stay committed and adjust when necessary. Understand your why, protect your energy, and persist even when it's tough. Remember, this plan is not just about achieving a goal. It's about living a life that honors your deepest calling. Keep your vision clear, your actions focused, and your heart open, and you will create a life of meaning, fulfillment, and purpose.
Number 10. Show up every day like your life depends on it. Showing up every day like your life depends on it is not just a mindset, it's a way of living with purpose, intensity, and commitment. Too often, we take our days for granted, as if we have an endless supply of time. But let me remind you, every single day is an opportunity, and every single day matters. The simple act of showing up can transform your life in ways you cannot even imagine. You don't just exist, you choose to live with intention. You don't just go through the motions, you engage, you show up, you bring everything you've got to every moment. Too many people wake up every morning thinking that today will be like yesterday and tomorrow will be just like today. But when you show up with purpose, your life changes. It's a daily decision, a daily choice. The difference between success and failure is not in the grand gestures, but in the consistency of your actions. The person who shows up every day, no matter what, is the one who achieves greatness. Imagine this. You've decided to go after your dreams. You have a vision for your life, a goal that excites you. But success is not a one-time event. It's a series of daily decisions. It's in the small, seemingly insignificant actions that you take day after day. Showing up is a choice that sets you apart from everyone else who only shows up when it's convenient, when they feel like it, or when they're sure things will go their way. When you show up every day, like your life depends on it, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you are serious about your success. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You don't wait for the stars to align. You show up, you do the work, you make it happen. Showing up means being present, fully engaged, and committed. It's easy to show up physically, but the real challenge is showing up mentally and emotionally. It's about bringing your best self to every situation, no matter what's going on around you. If you're going to build something meaningful in your life, you have to be all in. Half-hearted efforts won't get you there. When you show up, you don't hold back. You give it everything you've got. You don't leave any room for excuses. No matter how tired you are, no matter how hard it is, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, you keep showing up. That's how you create momentum. That's how you move forward. That's how you create change in your life. Think about the people who inspire you the most. They didn't get where they are by taking days off. They didn't become successful by waiting for opportunities to come to them. They showed up. They did the work. They didn't quit when things got tough. They kept going, even when it was hard. And that's the key to their success. They kept showing up, day after day. Every time they showed up, they took one more step toward their goals. And it didn't matter how small or insignificant the step seemed. What mattered was that they took it. Showing up, even in the face of adversity, is what builds character and creates lasting success. When you show up every day like your life depends on it, you start to see progress. You start to build momentum, and momentum is everything. When you consistently show up and take action, you begin to make things happen. You start to see the results of your efforts. You begin to feel the difference. You begin to believe in yourself, and you begin to realize that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. Every day is a new opportunity to move closer to your goals. Every day is a chance to take one more step toward becoming the person you were meant to be.
The key is to keep showing up, no matter what. If you do that, you'll make progress. And that progress will lead you to success. One of the most powerful things about showing up every day is that it helps you overcome fear and doubt. We all have moments when we feel unsure of ourselves, when we doubt our abilities or wonder if we're on the right path. But when you make the choice to show up, despite your doubts, despite your fears, you build confidence. You prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. You stop letting fear control you and start letting action take over. The more you show up, the less room fear has to hold you back. And the more you do, the more you realize that the only thing standing between you and your goals is the decision to show up. It's easy to get distracted. Life pulls us in so many different directions. We have responsibilities, obligations, and distractions that can take us off course. But when you show up every day with purpose, you don't let those distractions control you. You stay focused on what matters most. You prioritize what is truly important. You don't let the noise of the world pull you away from your goals. You stay committed to your vision, and you keep moving forward, no matter what. That's what separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's the ability to stay focused and keep showing up, even when life tries to get in the way. Now, showing up doesn't mean just doing the same thing every day. It doesn't mean working yourself into the ground without taking care of yourself. It means being deliberate with your actions. It means being strategic with your time. It means showing up with energy, with focus, and with intention. When you show up, make sure that you're giving your best. Be fully engaged. Don't just go through the motions. Invest yourself fully into the process. Whether you're working on a project, building a business, or improving yourself, give it your all. Every moment you spend working toward your goals is a moment that counts. The power of showing up is that it compounds over time. You might not see immediate results, and that's okay. Don't expect overnight success, but if you keep showing up day after day, you will start to see results. The more consistent you are, the more progress you make. The more you show up, the more you learn, the more you grow, and with every step forward, you get closer to your goals. Showing up is the foundation for everything else. It's the first step toward greatness. If you're struggling to stay motivated, remember this: your future depends on the choices you make today. Each day you show up is a step toward the life you want. If you want to live with purpose, with passion, and with fulfillment, you need to show up every day, like your life depends on it. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait for someone else to tell you what to do. Take control, make the decision, show up, and keep showing up. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed. It doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down. What matters is that you get back up. What matters is that you keep showing up. No matter what, your future is in your hands. Your success is determined by the actions you take today. So show up every day with everything you've got. You have the power to change your life, and it starts with showing up.